Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Aqueduct on Saturday is the Damon Runyon Stakes for 2-year-old New York breds at a mile. Our DRF Stakes preview brought to you by DRF Bets. When you sign up for a DRF Bets account, you'll immediately receive a $200 free bet, no deposit required, when you head over to drf.com/join and use the promo code FREEBET09. Let's take a look at the field for the Damon Runyon. Again, it's a one-turn mile for these 2-year-olds. Pretty evenly matched group, Mike. We'll begin with the number 8 Audible for Todd Pletcher. This horse has won his last 2 starts, both of them coming around a one-turn mile. Only beat 3 others in an off-the-turf race last time out. Okay, he destroyed that field. He was supposed to beat them.
Yeah, 4-horse field, you're right. Both he and the runner-up, Korea's Brooklyn Law, who's just had so many chances and really hasn't turned out to be that good. They were the main track onlys in the field. And Audible was just a lot better than that horse. Forget about the other 2 in there. He did earn a nice figure for that race, an 84, makes him a big player in this race, and I thought he looked fine when he won his second start, also over a one-turn mile at this track. I mean, he ran really well, and it was a nice improvement off of his debut. I mean, I don't have any real knocks on him, Dan, other than the fact that he's probably a short price in here for Pletcher. And at least right now, his edge on this field isn't that great.
No, he's going to take money based on that most recent Buyer speed figure, the way he won by almost 10 lengths. And he should get some pace, as we see from the Timeform US pace projector. That red bar indicates that the Timeform US folks think this pace will be fast. They have the 6 and the 9 sparring for the lead. Let's talk a little bit about Battle Station, winner of the Bertram Bongard at Belmont, going 7 furlongs, when able to kind of get away to a nice easy lead. No easy leads according to the pace projector here. Last time out at Churchill, took on open horses. I thought he was okay.
Yeah, I felt the same way about it. I wanted to like his last race a little more because I liked his dirt debut just fine. I thought his Bongard, and you're right, he got control of that pace, but I liked the way that he ran and showed that he could handle the main track. His Sleepy Hollow, I was just sort of willing to give him a pass for. It was a big contested pace. He was part of it. He threw in the towel through the stretch. I didn't want to be too hard on him for it. I just didn't think that he ran that great last time. I wanted to see him run a little bit better.
We see the number 4 Evaluator at the rear of this pace projector, and I wonder if it'll be deja vu all over again, as Yogi used to say. This horse made his dirt debut in the Sleepy Hollow. You mentioned the big pace. This horse just coasted at the back of the pack and was able to get up in the shadow of the wire to the tune of a $40 mutual. This horse looked really good in his career debut against New York breds on turf. Visually impressive, kind of overcoming a lot of things thrown at him. I won't fault the with anticipation in the Pilgrim against open graded stakes turf horses. Maybe this is the right horse at a price again.
Yeah, maybe it is. We'll see what happens with him. I mean, to me, he's hard to take, if only because he just had everything fall into his lap last time in the Sleepy Hollow, and it's against a sort of a group of, you know, the stakes horse, the 2-year-old stakes horses on dirt that we've seen with the New York breds so far this year. They're just not that inspiring a bunch. And so the fact that he got this big setup and beat those horses and, you know, was really grinding to do it in a slower kind of race, it doesn't do a lot for me. But he's a pretty good horse. He could improve again, and he could get a setup again.
But trainer Michael Dilger has done well with horses like Evaluator, as we see from this formulator fact. Past 5 years, 2-year-old last out winners on dirt, 40%, a giant ROI. Jan's Reserve won the King's Swan at Aqueduct at 21-1, utilizing this move. A lot of the success have come in sprints, this of course being a one-turn mile. One of the horses he beat in the Sleepy Hollow came back to run second behind Sea Foam in the Notebook Stakes and earned a 79 buyer. Now let's talk about Sea Foam, who just seems to be getting better with each start. This horse has a really nice pedigree, a New York bred in name only by Medaglia d'Oro out of the graded stakes winning turf runner Strike It Rich.
Yeah, maybe he's, you know, more turf on the dam side. She was certainly Strike It Rich, more of a turf horse, but there's dirt in this pedigree as well. He just seems to me like a horse who took a while to figure it out. When you go back in, especially when you look at his earlier races, this horse, he ran fine. He had a little bit of hang in him. He really hung badly in that turf race. The only time that tried him on turf, I mean, he had no excuse at all in that race. He really hung at the end of that race. And even when he won 2 starts back, breaking his maiden, he tried to hang in that race. But he eventually dug down and won. I like the way that he did that. Then he stepped forward last time. I mean, I thought that was a much improved performance for this horse. First time Lasix in there. He got a competitive figure for that race. The mile is supposed to be fine for him, and he might get an okay trip from the inside in here. I think this horse is a contender in here. Honor
Up is one of 2 entered by trainer Bill Mott. According to Dave Grenning's excellent advance for the Damon Runyon on DRF.com, Mott's considering running this horse in the Open Jerome on New Year's Day. This horse just ran away and hit over a wet track at a very short price against a terrible field field. He's got a nice pedigree. He's a full to Blue Ridge Traveler, who I think placed in the Spiral on synthetic.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that was a race last time that it almost felt like he had to fall down to lose. He didn't fall down. He buried that field. His effort 2 starts back is another race that I think gives him a chance in here, but he's probably going to have to improve, Dan. I mean, I thought he ran fine in that race, but at the end of the day, he was really no match for Audible in that spot, and Audible's once again back in this field.
Analyze the odds. Seems like the rare Pletcher 2-year-old with no speed whatsoever. He's going to try to stretch out to a mile again. He just feels kind of exposed.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of surprising to see Pletcher press on with another stakes race for this horse. He broke his maiden first time out. It's been all stakes since then. I know that he won one of them at Finger Lakes, but overall, he really hasn't been that competitive in these races. And on paper, based on what he's done so far, I mean, how can you like him at this race?
7 Lilies comes off a career best Beyer performance, but that 66 number pales in comparison to some of the top contenders in this race. He needs continued improvement.
Yeah, I mean, he was racing on with interest late last time, but he was never getting anywhere near the 1-2 finishers.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Damon Runyon Stakes. You're going with the number 7, JJ, the little half-brother to McKagan. We knew is a nice multiple stakes winner on turf. JJ handled the turf assignment first time out, no sweat. And then in an off-the-turf race last time out, really looked good in the stretch.
I like the way that he did that, especially when you take into consideration the horse that he beat, New York Hero, was a 2-5 favorite, main track only in that race, had just broken his maiden for Linda Rice by the length of the stretch with a 78 Beyer speed figure. That horse has license to be okay, and this horse just raced him up on the pace, put him away coming to the stretch, and got out to a clear-cut win in there. I like the way that he handled dirt in there. He got a fine figure for it. I also like the fact that, you know, listen, maybe he's just going to ultimately be a turf horse, and this is, you know, just Mott taking one more shot on dirt. That's fine if that's the case, but I'm going to give him that chance. His turf race, when he won first time out, from off the pace with a big wide run, their speed in this field, they might get away from him a little bit in here, but I like the fact that he showed that he can close a little bit in his debut. And if he can do that on dirt, maybe he can pull off a little bit of an upset here.
6-1 on the morning line for JJ. Mike's going 7-8-6-1. I'll go with Empire Line, who was really impressive first time out for trainer George Weaver. An 85 Beyer speed figure. For a second, it looked like the eventual runner-up Flash Drive was getting away from him. Turning into the stretch, Empire Line was just resolute and was able to put him away late. Flash Drive came back to win. The 4th place finisher came back to win. Weaver historically doesn't have great numbers with second-time starters, but Empire Line showed me enough, and I wonder if he just lets Battle Station go early, and perhaps Eric Cancel gets to the outside of that one and sits a bit.
I think that might be the way this thing plays out. He might get a really nice trip in this race, and I really did like his debut. You know, I didn't love the field that he debuted in. That just felt like the kind of race, it was ripe for a first-time starter. This horse, they paid a lot of money for at the sale, so he looked like the right one. What I like about it, Dan, is it almost felt like he might not be that much of a sprinter. I mean, he did a lot of chasing in that race, and he just kept staying on through the stretch, and he closed it down late. He might really appreciate the mile here.
Again, 7-8-6-1 for Mike, 6-8-1-7 for me, and the $100,000 Damon Runyon Stakes. If you were playing the Big A Saturday card from home, again, a $200 free bet when you sign up to drf.com/join on DRF Bets. No deposit required. Promo code FREEBET09. Approximate post time for the Damon Runyon is 3:50 Eastern. Good luck.